Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. Don't forget to make yourself a cup of tea or hot chocolate if you want, because today we have very interesting stories, and one of them is a story about a woman who put on a crap show at a coffee shop when her kid drank coffee and put a blame on workers. Please subscribe if you haven't and I hope you'll enjoy it. I will put some background first. I, 18 meters, have just finished moving in with my girlfriend, 18, from now on Eva, obviously a fake name. We've moved in my grandparents' old house, they moved into a smaller place years ago, and my mother was to make sure it is in good condition, which she did not. In 5 years, of course it didn't become a desolate ruin, but still, the time in which nothing was done there took its toll. Several months ago, even long before Rona was a thing, I had a dispute with my mother about my relationship with Eva and my at the time insane workload, which led me to consideration of moving out and subsequently doing it. When my grandparents found out that I'm staying in dorms and looking for a place to move in with Eva, they offered their old house under the condition that we'll fix it up. Then, Rona happened and almost everything was immediately closed down. The time has come. My grandparents proposed that Eva and I can stay in their house during the pandemic. Well, months have passed, Eva, and we're almost done with everything that is needed to move in completely when my mother came around, asking if she can stay for some time, because she and my dad need some time apart. I wonder why. This was already when almost all restrictions were lifted, so Eva and I have found jobs, so my mother is there alone with Eva's dog, from now on Snickers, which obviously is a fake name, which she took along, obviously because the two can't exist, and to be honest, I got to love him as well during the past months, without each other. Important later. Now, since she's home alone, you'd expect her to do something, right? Well, no. I mean, if you're staying at someone and make them do concessions for your comfort for longer periods of time, weeks, months, it's a basic politeness to at least help by doing little things and try to not add even more work, right? My problem is that all she was doing is sitting and watching TV and did not do anything other than get in the way, add work. Which about everything and interrupt even the tiny bit of privacy Eva and I got dog fed. Yes, but not enough. Dog board. Yes. Simple meal cooked. No. Work. Added for me and Eva to do it. Chips and similar stuff. Expenses skyrocketed and crumbs were everywhere. Hotel. Travago. Yeah, I might sound harsh and as an idiot here for expecting a guest to do a job around my house, but all I wanted and asked her to do is to clean up the mess she has made, fill a bowl, throw a tennis ball few times, and to make some packet meal for the evening. One of the arguments regarding this was exactness not guaranteed. I asked what should I do for the evening and for the next day. Em said that she doesn't care, Eva said that a homemade pizza for the evening and mashed potatoes with schnitzel for the next day would be good. Pizza and mashed potatoes with schnitzel. As I'm midway through the process of putting all the things on the pizza, Em comes and says, "I don't want a pizza. Or schnitzel. It all was not long ago. I'm sorry, but you said you didn't care. If you mind, you can take leftover goulash from yesterday or make yourself a packet soup. Don't talk to me like that. Then stop complaining. If you have such a problem with what we're cooking, just cook yourself. Don't disrespect me like that. I gave birth to you. I cared for you. I raised you. Cool and all, but I don't remember witching about what you made for food. Shut up. You have not right to talk to me like that. But unless you calm the hell down, I have full right to tell you to back out of this house." Few days have passed and Eva noticed my mother has dropped a cookie the one half coated in chocolate near Snickers. Chocolate is poisonous for dogs. My mother likely fully well knew she dropped it. And obviously, Snickers, with his state-of-art detection of food on ground, immediately went to examine the cookie. Eva luckily took it before Snickers could eat it. "I'm sorry, but you have to be careful with chocolate around Snickers, he almost ate the cookie you dropped." "So? You feed him cookies all the time?" "Yes, those are cookies I make specially for him, but what you dropped might kill him." "Oh come on. There's just a little chocolate on it. Just please, be careful. PF just a stupid and dirty flea bag." My mother has thrown a massive crap into a massive fan. Eva is in general very easy to piss off. This applies twice when it regards someone or something she deeply cares about and loves. I could literally see Eva turn bright red from rage with smoke coming out her ears. "Listen here. The stupid dirty flea bag, given the amount of crap I have to clean up after you every freaking day, is way more hygienic and intelligent than you are. Quit it you too. Listen here. You little cheeky disrespectful witch. You have no reason or right to shout at me like that. I again unsuccessfully tried to break it up before they do something worse, and at this point, Snickers started to growl and bark at my mother, so I had to drag him outside, or he might attack her. And given he's of the bigger and stronger breed, that would not be good. Yeah, and you have no freaking right to call me these names. Just continue. You're just proving that you're just a little insolent immigrant filth witch. Just look at the crap I give about what you think about me. Just continue. You're just proving that you're narcissistic and xenophobic and that the only good thing about you is giving birth to OP. I finally got back. And I will spare you the further insults. Basically ended up with me kicking out my mother and with Eva crying curled up in a ball on a bed while sobbing, "I'm so sorry." I pieced it together and figured that my mother was trying to break me and Eva apart all along. Eva and I are to get our licenses and are getting a car from our respective parents this week, which means full independence, which means that my mother's plans to prevent me from moving in with Eva have failed and that I won both battle against my narcissistic and entitled mother and lottery of life by moving in with the person I love. Yes, Eva might not have behaved accordingly, but neither did my mother for the past 2 freaking years since Eva and I started to have something between us. Your mother is a nasty piece of thing. OP, make sure you let Eva know how much you love and appreciate her. Do not screw this up. A partner who will stand up to your mother will stand up to everyone that treats you wrong. Some backstory. I crash at my boyfriend's regularly when we are both off work. He is not a coffee drinker while I'm practically addicted. I typically just head over to the gas station up the street and grab coffee when I stay with him because it's convenient. At this point in my day, I have had no coffee. Cast. EM. Entitled Mom. BD. Boss Dad. CK. Clueless Kid. ST. State Trooper. CB. Coffee Barista. Me. Well, me. On to the story. So, I go into the store and put in my coffee order. This is one of the places that does the fancy, made-to-order drinks, and I like mint lattes with an extra shot of espresso. While I'm waiting for my order, ST comes in and starts talking with me. He used to work with my cousin and has known me for years. He's putting in his lunch order and grabbing coffee for him and his partner while chatting with me. Neither one of us is paying attention to the counter or the numbers CB is calling out. That's when CK screams. It seems that while no one was looking, this 5-year-old child managed to grab my coffee off the counter without spilling it all over herself and take a drink. Of course, has burnt the ever-living daylights out of her mouth and she threw the offending drink at the wall, getting it all over the floor. ST and I just sigh because we know how this is going to go. Oh baby, what happened? Where are you hurt? CK just points at the cup. EM turns on CB. How dare you give my child a hot drink when I'm not here? She's been hurt now because of you. I apologize, ma'am. I placed a finished order on the counter for pickup. Your daughter must not have realized it was hot. Let's get her something cold to drink on the house and get this cleaned up. ST and I have been helping keep people back from the spilled drink and CB smiles at us as she rounds the counter. Her coworker is making a replacement drink while EM continues to rant about how bad the place is and how hurt her baby could have been. CB grabs a mop from the back and I pick up the empty cup, looking at the tag on it. Mint latte, extra shot of espresso. And I don't know what kind of place serves hot milkshakes anyways. Record scratch. Now everyone is looking at her. Hot milkshakes. Yes. I ordered a milkshake for her and she got burnt. Doesn't it make more sense that your daughter grabbed the wrong order and got someone's coffee instead? My daughter cannot drink coffee. It's poison to kids her age and she knows it. She'd never touch the stuff. ST looking at the cup in my hand. Ma'am, I believe this young lady is correct. EM grabs CK by the hair and shakes her hard. Right in front of a cop. Coffee is bad for you. How many times must I tell you that? CK is crying. CB is looking lost, guessing this wasn't part of her new hire training. ST is stepping in to intervene. No managers in sight and I'm wondering how my day went downhill so fast. This is about the time that the door opens and in walks my boss from work. The look on his face says it all, and I realize that this lady looks so familiar because she's his ex-wife. Let go of her hair. But she drank coffee. BD shaking his head. And we've talked about this. EM lets go of CK who runs and hides behind BD. She burned her tongue and these people were mean about it. So, you decided to assault our child in front of a uniformed officer. He's not a cop. He was talking to her. Points to me. ST takes out the badge and shows it to EM. I am very much a police officer. May I please speak to you outside? Whatever you have to say, you can say it right here. Ma'am, I am going to be placing you under arrest for the assault on your daughter. I would prefer to cuff you outside where. And that was when EM started throwing things at ST. Candy bars, display boxes, cups, whatever she could get her hands on. ST rolled his eyes and moved to cuff her. The rest of us are watching in horror and CK just starts laughing. BD looks at her and asks why she's laughing. Mommy always said bad things would happen if I drank coffee. I just never knew that they would happen to her. Some closing notes. My boss is a good father. His ex-wife is batshit crazy and somehow managed to get full custody in the divorce. He was there to pick CK up to visit family for NYE. I chatted with BD and we're cool. I don't spread the story around work and he doesn't mention how ridiculous I looked in the BF's clothes. ST and his partner took EM into custody. What'll happen next, I don't know. CK got her milkshake and I, finally, got my coffee. All on the house. With any luck this incident will allow boss dad to sue for custody, if only partial. Too often the courts default to the mother for full custody. This particular story did happen a few months ago, but boy, was it memorable for you to understand the levels of crazy and ignorance that this woman had. At the time of this happening I was, still am, a DC for the police, so I don't wear the uniform, just a pretty basic black suit. So to the untrained eye I could just look like any regular city office worker in the rat race of life. This story takes place near a tube station and the cast for today is EP. Entitled Parent. SK. Stupid kid yet harmless. Me. Lamois. Oh. Assisting officer. I won't be going into too many details of what happened before EP got involved, but the bare bones of it is that a kid got stabbed quite badly for something that was trivial, which makes it 10 times more upsetting. As a result of this the area has to be cordoned off in order to help with the investigation process. This, for a lot of people, came at quite the inconvenience as it included one of the tube station's subway systems for you Americans. However, this inconvenience was accepted by almost all, as a kid's life was involved, plus it just meant that it would add an extra 15 to 20 minute walk to your commute. Now I say almost all, who was it do you think had the problem? Ding ding ding, you got it. I had just arrived at scene and I was receiving a handover from the AO when it felt the police tape from behind me getting lifted. At first, I thought it was another officer or an inspector, but I turned to see it was a small child, no older than 8 I'm sure of it. Whoa there little man, you can't come this way, who are you with? The kid was very small and looked somewhat intimidated by my large 6'2" frame. He looked up at me, didn't say a word, and pointed in the direction of a heavy-set, yet very small, woman who at the time of the pointing was on her phone. She was walking towards the boy, and in my naive mind, I thought she would be as accepting as other folk, collect her son and carry on with her life. Oh boy, was I wrong. She hung up her phone about 10 feet away from me. As she did this AO was about to initiate conversation, however, I stopped him because I wanted that interaction with the public I rarely get any more unless I'm on family liaison. Armed with a smile I walk over towards her. Hi miss, unfortunately this area is under investigation, therefore this area is off limits until the investigation is through. Sorry for any inconvenience. Right, well I just want to get to the tube station, so which way can I go? Well the tube station is also cordoned off. So you're telling me I can't get on tube line to get home? What do you suggest I do to get home? Just walk around the area off limits and walk to the next connection. Now after I had said this she gave me a look that could only be replicated if I dropped through and took a massive crap in front of her. I kid you not, she looked so offended that I had suggested this and said the thing I loathe the most. This is completely unacceptable, I suggest you let me past, I just want to go to the tube station and go home. I pay your wages and you serve the public. I.e. me. So let me and my child past or I will report you to your superior and have you sacked. The person who got stabbed probably deserved it anyway. Why are you even bothering, just another degenerate off the street. It took me a couple of minutes to comprehend what she had said. To begin with, I freaking hate it when people tell me that they pay my wages, completely omitting the fact her taxes get so diluted into the system that it probably paid for a politician's lunch. Secondly, her callous attitude towards human life, let alone a child, offended me so much it hurts that I share a country with her. Right, I'm bored of being courteous with you. For your information, it was a 14-year-old boy that got attacked, and I bet if this was your child, you want me to do everything in my power to get justice. But that said, find another way home or you will force me to do something that I won't care to waste paperwork on. Take your child away from the area and find another way home. She was visibly angry with me changing my attitude towards her, you could see her face get redder and redder. Right, that's it, SK, come here. She grabs SK by the hand and pushes her way past me and snaps the tape. The O was off explaining the situation to other members of the public with no issues, and when he saw my situation starting to get progressively worse and started to walk over to assist. She gets about 5 feet into the restricted area before I gave AO a little nod. This nod acted like a thunderstone to a Pikachu. What? Assisting officer is evolving. Congratulations, assisting officer evolved into arresting officer. They grabbed EP and arrested her on the spot for obstruction of a police officer's course of justice. Now, the bad thing about this is that we had to do this in front of her child, but she left me no choice. It took a little while, but the father picked up the kid and apologized profusely for her behavior. Apparently they had separated and he's currently having a hard time going through the proceedings for divorce. As much as I wanted to learn more about this crazy woman, I had a job to do. AO took her to the station where she went through the motions of being arrested. She didn't get punished too much, she just received a caution for her behavior. I don't think that will alter her attitude towards life though, and I fully expect her to have a run-in with the police again. Did I not mention, this wasn't her first time she's been troublesome for us. As long as I'm not involved, I don't care. Thank you for reading once again, if you enjoyed this. Let me know. I have a couple more in the bank. Much love, stay safe. I just don't get how some people can be so insensitive, it's actually depressing. Well, and I guess we know who got custody, and it wasn't the one allowing her son to cross police tape. Well guys, that's it for today. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing, and if you missed the last episode on the channel, I'm gonna link it right here. The story is about a woman who demanded the plane should be disinfected cause of her son and then caused a scene. Check this out if you haven't, and I'll see you in my next video.